always wanna dangle on my down by the junction with the cracks on the wall. Buffoon, I'm like the mink while you soon to pimp a raccoon stall. Vocal arrangement, ready, set the hit the
Welcome to another episode of Val's Monologues. I'm your host, Val Holness, coming at you from the new and improved Struggle Studios, I like to call it, and I'm not going to give the location, but this is an entity of Central Productions, and we are coming back at you with another episode of my life. Now, guys, I put this together. I'm doing this towards the beginning because this serves as a means of therapy for me. Let me turn on this music real quick. Hold on 1 second. Although this music is jamming, I don't want to take over. I want to just take over the monologue. But like I said, I'm doing this because this serves as a means of therapy for me. And what I'm finding out is that, these sessions, no matter how bootleg they're sounding, when I'm hearing them while I'm moving, I play a couple of these sessions while going to work. And it is very therapeutic, man, to hear that you're winning, number one. And number two, you're putting out good stuff. This is good content being made here, and I know with a little bit of push, more people are going to be affected in a positive way. And we all want attention to a certain extent. I think that's how we're made. I don't think it's nothing wrong with that as long as it doesn't get too out of whack. It's good to want to be important. I think we all do. And this here, we're going to keep on growing it. Shouts out to the Answer Game podcast. We will be doing another session this Friday. We're going to talk about some interesting stuff, including the new movie Get Out, which, from what I understand, is over 100 million now. It's doing very well, which is cool. Good for those people over there, Jordan Peele and all those other people. Shout out to them. I need to see that movie again, by the way, because of the symbols in it, man. It's so symbolic. So many lessons that it attempts to talk about. I won't say lessons, but themes that it gets into. One of them is about the whole dynamic of the black male, white female relationship in America, and what's real versus what's fake. And we get right into it, man. I had a situation this week. Wasn't a situation, just a conversation this week with a young white lady who came in, to see a car. And as for you guys who don't know, I do sell cars. Great Atlanta Auto Services. If you want a great deal, come see me. My number is 404-951-4885. I can hook you up. Getting back to the story, I had a customer who we actually talked the previous Saturday when she was there with her boyfriend, who is a black man. He looks like a former football player, that type of thing. But come find out, he didn't play football at all. He just sort of grew into his body. Well, the white lady, she looks to be in her late 40s, somewhere around there, late 40s, maybe early 50s, and come find out she has grandchildren, and she may have been a looker, a few years back. Right now she doesn't look, she looks average, just to be thoughtful, has, nice chest and all that good stuff there. Like I said, the brother was good back in the day, but her boyfriend is really into it, and she got into that because I forget where she's from, but she lives up in the North Atlanta area, does IT work, and she'll let you know she makes six figures, which, okay, I hear you say it once, and that's cool. You say it 2 or 3 times, and it starts to get, a little overboard. But she said that because she wanted to emphasize that she is self-sufficient, she's independent. And she mentioned that's the whole reason why her boyfriend got with her, is into her. I think that she said that they've been together now for 6 years. She's divorced, has grown daughters, that type of thing. But they have been together for 6 years. Didn't talk too much about getting married, but from my understanding, their relationship is pretty solid. And she mentioned how when they met, they met online or something like that, but when they met, he noticed that she wasn't needy. She acted a woman, but she wasn't needy. And she talked about how he mentioned that his previous girlfriends, if you want to call it that. And by the way, this man, he lives in the Riverdale area. She said he lives in the Riverdale area. She lives in North Atlanta. And he still maintained their separate residences. But he just had a big concern, or he just had an overabundance of dealing with women who were needy. This woman wanted him to pay, her phone bill constantly and all this other stuff. And I'm hearing that, and I get, and I totally understand where the guy's coming from. A lot of needy women out here. I mean, they look good. Now, I love the way my black women look. But they use that as an excuse to act bitchy, to act like, in order to get with them, you have to be bringing way more than they do because they think their body is enough, and it is not enough. And she talked about that. And I can't stress it enough. I mean, they're happy together. I saw them. I saw my own eyes just reading body language. They're happy. They're happy. So just remember that, ladies. A body won't only take you so far. You can have the best bodies in the world, which, and I'm not even being, what's the right word? I'm not being discriminatory. I think black women have the best bodies in the world, but that is not enough. That body lasts, in terms of how a man thinks that body will get you in first couple of screwing around, whatever you want to call it. But after that, man, there got to be something extra. So just keep that in mind, man. I can't stress it enough, and I'm going to keep talking about it. What else happened? Oh, of course, we are in Atlanta, and, the gay population is pretty rampant here. And, make no mistake about it, that gay thing is a religion. It's a religion where both the men and the women who try to act like the men who try to act like the women, those type of relationships or whatever, they will push their beliefs on you. And that's the biggest issue I have with this gay lifestyle, man. Whatever you do, that's your business. Do not try to push that stuff on me. I had a couple instances, and that's too much. That's too many for me in 1 week. Where the guys, I had a couple customers, and man, these customers, man, they think just because you sell cars, you work at a dealership or you work wherever, that they can, talk to you as if you're the subordinate, which means that they can, make little slick comments. And had a couple instances where this, number one is this one big fat gay dude who I guess he had been looking to purchase a vehicle for some time now, but just couldn't find the right, person to get him that. And I'm the type, hey, I'll jump on opportunities like that. I'll work with you. But, mind you, this guy, we have been conversating over the phone, taking care of a lot of business over the phone. When we finally meet in person, it's a big fat dude. And, if I'm a big guy. But this guy, I guess he was the feminine male. How stupid that sounds. But anyway, we test out the vehicle, and, he's making, little slick remarks or whatever, And I laugh a couple times just to play it off, but after a certain amount of time, man, I'm done, right? So we get back to the dealership, and he's talking to the manager, telling the manager what's going on with, or the manager's telling him what's going on with finding his right car, and he's telling the manager, I like your salesperson. He's making those little gestures, As a matter of fact, well, I'll get to that later, but, he's pointing at my shirt and this and that, and I'm giving that look like, yo, that's enough, right? So, to make a long story short, he leaves, and I'm like, man, this gay stuff, man. This stuff is going to start a war. These people not careful, right? So, end of that story. Moving on to the next couple of days, when this other gay dude comes in, this other white gay dude comes in, and this is an older guy. And what's funny, the other guy was an older guy too. He was in his 50s. This second guy was in his 60s, right? Came in very flamboyant, little bossful, says, come sell me a car, that type of thing. And to do my job, sometimes you got to humble yourself. So I humble myself to this guy. Mind you, I'm not really picking up, his vibe. I'm just a little bit turned off. He, tells me, come sell him a car. So as I'm walking outside with him, he's talking. Okay, yeah, this guy is moist too. Show him a couple cars, we test drive, and he's sounding all happy and telling me what he does. Come to find out he's a corporate lawyer, but he has bad credit, which is which already tells me that he lives an irresponsible life. Which really, what you find, a lot of these gay guys, they live a very, even the ones that make a lot of money, they live a very irresponsible life. Their finances are jacked. I'm seeing that. But anyway, we get back to the dealership, and, he's on his lunch break, and, he wants to control the whole situation, wants us to do his car appraisal and numbers on a couple cars while he's at work. Well, if you're in the car business, that's a big no-no, because what this guy is basically asking is that, he controlled the situation from his point of view. He wants us to sell him a car on his terms, in other words. Well, before he leaves, I'm putting his information in the system, and, I come to find out that he was actually conversation with another salesperson that worked at the dealership. So I walked over to the other salesperson. Hey, I got your customer. You want to, come talk to him? And the guy was like, no, you can handle him, because really, he didn't come here on my behalf. He just came here, I guess, on a humbug. So I tell the guy, I'll go back to the gay guy and tell him that, since you've been talking to that guy, that, you can go ahead and, deal with him. He was like, well, I don't want to deal with him. I'm like, that's fine, but I'm not going to, I must do as much as I can for you, but I can't do anything until you bring your husband in. And come to find out his husband is some doctor, and it's just funny when you say that. Gay people are allowed to get married now, but I guess the kick is they keep their previous name. So I'm looking at the husband's profile, and the husband is black. Just looking at his profile, I can tell that it's a black man. Right? Getting back to the gay, the lawyer guy, he said he can say not just some gay remarks, he can say some real racist remarks, because he feels that he's entitled to say that because he feels that, since gay people being discriminated against in his mind, that he can talk to minorities, and I'm using quotation marks, And you know, as we're, you know, fellow victims, that gay people and black people are fellow victims. I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, nah, bro,